Hi folks, tonight we're going to talk about the intro to Johnny B. Goode, one of the most famous guitar lines in rock history. Bear in mind that my webmaster here, Jesse Kenyon, brought this to my attention that we should do it. Or he says I promised it in the past. Something like that. It's a little tricky, and it follows a 12 bar, but not the standard 12 bar you usually see. That'll be spoken about in our next lesson, but first let's deal with the intro and a thing called the double stop. We talked about Clapton using it in Sunshine Your Love. You're holding two notes down. You're not stopping one note, you're stopping two notes. They do it in B flat. Chuck Berry, the great Chuck Berry, who's getting up there in the age department. He's got to be at least 21 now. But either way, he did it in B flat, the original recording, if I'm correct on that. But we're going to do it in A because it's a little easier to teach that way. And well, you'll see. I've been teaching in A for these last lessons we've been doing, so just make things a little easier to play. I'll make the chords easier to play if you're a wimpy bar chord player and can't do that. Remember, learn your bar chords, would you? Okay, so now, Jesse, you're going to have to come up close so we can look what's going to go on here. But before you do, I'll play it. That's kind of close. Okay, so we're doing it in the key of A. We're going to be using our blues scale with some other notes introduced in there from the major scale. We're going to start with which is known as a crushed third. I'm starting from minor third to a major third. That means the scale. 1, 2, 3. I'm sliding into the third. Okay? Okay, so what I just played for you a moment ago, I wasn't correct. But the real one is this. Okay, so now, if you know that blues scale, then you can kind of see everything looks kind of familiar in there. But right now we're going to start with our second finger, and we're going to put it on that dot there, which is the 5th fret of the 3rd string. The 5th fret of the 3rd string. Okay, finger 2 is going to slide to the 6th fret. Okay, it's important to use the proper fingering. And then finger 1 is going to come down to the 2nd string, 5th fret, following that black dot, and finger 3 is going to come down to the 7th fret of the 2nd string. Got that? If you screw that up, the rest will sound bad. And now the double stops. So that's like a little baby A chord. And I'm going to slide from the 4th fret to the 5th fret to get to that baby A chord. I don't want to really hear the 4th fret. It's just a slur. Okay? And I'm doing this with triplets. I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, whatever you're counting. All right, it has to be a set of 3. And you're going to do 3 of them. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 of them. And if you count it at the real count, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and but that's not so important. Just remember this in the segments. I mean, timing is very important. But as you see it, 3 sets of those. That'll be the hardest part. 1 and 2 and 3 and double stopping, holding 2 notes down. And then, those are not double stops. A lot of people play them double stops, but the original recording does not do that. He's playing 8, 7, 5 of the 2nd string. 8, 7, 5 of the 2nd string. 1 and 2 and 3 and Got that? Don't go any farther than you can do that. Okay, once you have that, you're going to add this to it. Okay, now we're going to hit that 7th fret, but now the double stop will come in. So instead of just hitting that by himself, you're going to hit the B string with it. The 2nd and 3rd strings are double stopped on the 7th fret. You got that? And then the 5th fret of the same 2 strings, 2nd string, 3rd string. You're following those black dots. So we have 8, 7, 5 of the B string, which is the 2nd string. 8, 7, 5, double stop the G and B on the 7th fret. Double stop the G and B on the 5th fret. So far we have this. At that point, when you come down to the 5th, and these fingers just follow suit, each one does the same thing. It's easy to see. When I do this, there's that crushed 3rd again, but I didn't slide into it this time. I hammered into it. So he's hammering down to the 6th fret of the 3rd string. And you can still hear the 2nd string ringing with it. So technically we call it that would be a double stop too, but you're not holding 2 notes down. This guy's going to stay put while this guy falls. Alright, so far we have this. He hammered down, I did not pick him. And then I'm going to pick the root here on the 7th fret of the 4th string. Alright, on the D string. Got that? So, single note, single note, single note, double stop, hammer into the double stop, and back to the root. The root being A, 7th fret D string. Okay? At this point, if you want to go on, finger 1 will come up to the 6th fret and double stop like he did down here on the 4th fret, holding the first 2 strings, but here you're going to hold the 5th and the 4th string on the 6th fret and do the same thing. 3 again, triplets. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a. Okay, you got that? Alright, then the last riff will be coming along here. That's the riff I've always played to it. I think I'm correct, or somewhere in the neighborhood. But if not, don't sue me. So that last riff. So I start again, like the beginning. I slide from the 5th fret to the 6th. Double stop the first 2 strings again on the 5th fret. And then I come down and hit the 7th fret of the B string, 2nd string, not double stopping him. So I have that slide again, crush 3rd, strike him twice, hit the 7th fret by itself of the 2nd string, and then finger 1's going to come back and do this little trick and play the 5th down to the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And with your pinky or 3rd finger, you'll play the root to finish it up on the 4th string of the 7th fret. That's the root. The root is the key we're in, A. So we have this. Then the whole band kicks in over the D chord. But that's for another day. Okay, so Chuck Berry's classic, Johnny B. Goode. Chuck Berry, to me, and if you ask most professional guitar players who've been around a while, they'll tell you that he's the most influential guitarist in rock history. You might say, well, what about Clapton or Hendrix or Van Halen or whatever? There would have been those guys wouldn't have been around if it wasn't for Chuck. He started the thing. He showed you. He kind of laid out a benchmark, the blueprints. So we all owe him a tip of the hat. So, and that's a pretty lofty position to be the most influential guitar player in rock history, because there's a lot of us. All right, on the next lesson here about the Chuck Berry Johnny B. Goode, I'll talk about the 12 bar for that. It's not your standard 12 bar, although it's a standard out there, but it's not the standard. All right, we're doing it in A instead of B flat, by the way. A loves D and E. In the key of B flat would love E flat and F. All right, so if you remember all that talk about what chords love another, you should understand that. All right, so we'll see you next time. Learn this. Everybody should know this. Everybody who plays guitar should know how to play Johnny B. Goode and the Intro to Stairway to Heaven and Sunshine of Your Love, to name but a few. All right, I'll see you next time.